Hi guys, welcome back to my Friday the 13th movie review marathon, and today we're going to be talking about the 1984 movie Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. This is one of the movies in the franchise. It's mostly considered as one of the best in the franchise and one of the most memorable, especially with the characters that were introduced in this one, like Tommy and Jimmy, played by Feldman and Crispin. Those characters were two of the most memorable ones, and they had some of the most memorable scenes throughout the Friday the 13th franchise. Again, the movie started with the recap of what happened in the previous movies, and in this one it was quite enjoyable to watch, because even though it's not been that long, we got to see most of the kills from parts 1, 2 and 3, and it just let us know what was happening, kept us up to date. However, it did feel like a kind of TV series at the end of that recap. You know, before the movies that are coming out, it might as well be a TV show. And again, this movie picks up where part 3 left off, something that's really good so far with the Friday the 13th franchise, and that's something that it holds over the Halloween franchise, because at this point in time Halloween ventured off into an anthology movie, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and that didn't quite work out at the time. Great movie, but it didn't work out at the time. So I think that's something that Friday the 13th at the moment holds over Halloween. I mentioned that the character development was better in part 3 than it was in part 1 and part 2. Similar to this one as well, the character development was great. It was a lot better than part 3 as well, and I think what helped this movie was not only was the character development great, the acting was a lot better as well. Everyone was a lot better. You cared for the characters more. There were characters in this film, just like any other movie, that you don't care for, and intentionally in this one we don't care for some of these characters, so we get to see them get picked off by Jason, but we do start to care for some of these characters who are also picked off, and that was pretty good. That's something that part 4 holds over the first 3 installments. For me, Rob was a pointless character. He looked like he was going to be one of these heroes in the film, and maybe that was an intentional thing as well, but he looked like he was one of these Jason searchers. He was out to get Jason. He didn't actually mention that, but with all the equipment that he had and the motives that he had, it looks like he was just hunting Jason, and that obviously didn't work out well for him. I think he should have picked maybe a better profession. One scene that always makes me laugh involves Tommy. I remember watching this scene when I was a kid and had the exact same reaction to Tommy as Tommy did in this film, is when he seen the two people getting a little bit frisky across the building, and he was jumping up and down in his bed. He was just so excited. And again, as a 10-year-old kid, I don't know if he was 10, but as a 10-year-old kid myself, I just got that excited watching that kind of stuff. It was crazy, and I think that's what brings the character Tommy to us as the audience, because everybody in this film, especially Tommy, is just so realistic. The death scenes come pretty fast in this film. Sometimes there are times in the film when it slows down, but it slows down for a reason, because of the character development. We do want to see some of that, but when it does pick up again at the beginning and at the end, mostly the death scenes are very, very brutal, and the most brutal in the franchise so far. The locations in the Friday the 13th movies are characters in their own right. I think if you choose the right location for these films to film at, then that plays a whole major part in the feeling of the film. It makes the film more eerie. If you're setting the film in space, for example, or somewhere else, it doesn't have that Friday the 13th feeling. This movie does have, and we've got the introduction to the Jarvis home as well, and that felt like a nice little eerie cabin in the middle of the woods. The additional rainy and windy conditions just set the mood as well. There's something about rain and wind in films for me, in horror films, that just make it a lot more scary, and then Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, does that perfectly. Again, I'm loving the whole development of the Jason character. You can see that he looks like he's rotting away. I don't know if they want us to assume and make up our own mind what's happening with Jason, but it looks like he's already dead. He's rotting away. The only thing that's keeping him going as a figure is trying to finish what his mother started. From the title, The Final Chapter, we're expecting this to be the last in the series. Again, we don't know what's going to happen in the future from 1984 onwards, but from the title it says The Final Chapter, but as you watch the movie, you're expecting what happened in the film at the end, with Tommy becoming the whole crazy one. It's looking like, yeah, that could be the very end for Jason and the beginning for Tommy, because we had Pamela Voorhees the killer in the first one, we had Jason the killer in the second and the third one, and the fourth one, and then it looks like Tommy is becoming this killer now, and he could be taking it up going forward, but again, that didn't happen. So it was a bit of an issue, because it was a bit of a lie. But a lot of movies these days, or definitely in the 80s, had final chapters like sorry, A Nightmare on Elm Street had a Freddy's Dead. So it does happen, and they just want to make a little bit more money. So I don't want to keep updating you with my favourite in the franchise and my least favourite in the franchise, but I will say this, at this point in time, out of the first 4 movies, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is clearly my favourite out of the 4. Like I said, it has the best character development, the best acting, the best Jason, the best kills. Everything about it is more superior, far superior to the first 3 movies. So what do you think of the final chapter, guys? Did you like it? Was it one of your favourites? And what do you think of the introduction of Tommy? Because I think Tommy is a key part to the Friday the 13th franchise. Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.